Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Roger Hill with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. Looking at the big picture here, and what we can see is generally a ridge of higher pressure that's located up here. We got kind of a northwesterly flow. The flow of air is a little bit less north-northwesterly, south-southeasterly, so we're starting to see some erosion taking place along this sort of blocking area of higher pressure off to the west of us. That's been protecting parts of the Great Lakes and into the northeast United States. We have a couple different shortwave troughs in Canada, and these are going to sort of interact and make it in here, it looks like, with a couple different rounds of showers and maybe potentially a couple isolated thunderstorms. These look to be relatively weak and benign. Best chances probably Adirondacks into the southern parts of Vermont today. During the day on Friday, we'll see a round of showers work on in the morning hours, and then those will dissipate out and move and track out, and we could see a little bit of regeneration, but not a whole lot. And this again would be isolated and relatively benign. Probably a better chance maybe toward the northeastern sections of the state of Vermont into parts of northern New England up around Maine and northern New Hampshire. All of that taking place, of course, on Friday. Then a dry weekend, and then we have slightly cooler temperatures, some cold air advection with this kind of northwesterly flow sort of setting up again as we get into the early part of next week. And what could be toward and beyond the period, maybe even cold enough so that in the upper levels of the atmosphere, temperatures cold enough, lowering the freezing level yet once again, and we could even see a little bit of wet snowflake action for the middle part of next week. In a quick look, you're seeing a little bit of rain shower activity at Messina, New York. This is this little disturbance. Could pop a thunderstorm eastern Adirondacks and into the southern part of Vermont. It would affect maybe the parts of southern Addison County into Rutland County, southern four counties of Vermont, but we're talking about minuscule here. European on the left as we go to the modeling GFS ensemble on the right-hand side. We're looking at a time starting out here at 2 p.m. this Thursday afternoon. You can see just a little bit of interesting basically some light shower activity, and again a couple embedded isolated thunderstorms, benign. So this moves on out, dissipates out basically this evening, is no problem. The next system comes in during the overnight period. This is a little cluster, a little bit better organized, a little bit richer in moisture. This moves in on a northwesterly flow. Some rain showers in the morning hours. The rain showers then dissipate out. They leave us with some isolated potential showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two. Again, relatively benign. Now, as we get into this weekend, we're going to dry things out. It's pretty chilly up to the north. You can see just how cold it is. Cold enough to snow a little bit north of Quebec City, up around Chicoutimi and whatnot, Quebec. So that all kind of swings into Maine, luckily, into parts of the Canadian Maritimes. For us, we're kind of on the edge of that. We're going to eke out a pretty decent weekend. The only flare-up here, when you see snow like that, you know that, okay, this is packing some chilly temperatures, and indeed, there's a potential for a little bit of frost that could develop on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Heads up on that. Now, once we get past that, high pressure is going to build in. You can see how that ridges in. And that area of higher pressure ridging on in. Again, this is valid over this coming weekend. And then it kind of gets suppressed a little bit off to the south. We start to see this frontal boundary start to work on in, and this is going to deliver some chillier air to the region with a band of rain showers, and that comes in basically on Monday night and lingers a little bit into the day on Tuesday, and you can just see just how cold this air mass is. This is fairly significantly colder, and it's going to be lurking just to the north of us, and some of that frostier air might even be mixing in with a little bit of precipitation. We're talking about some minor showers that could include some wet snowflakes up in the mountaintops. All of that taking place beyond the period on Wednesday of next week. Beyond that, as we just run the model here, you can see that we warm things back up again. The 5,400 meter thickness lines push off to the north and east, a sign of a warm air advection pattern. And indeed, we have another system that'll drop in with some pretty good weather for the end of next week as we warm things right back up again. And then a kind of elongated frontal boundary. This would be on Friday evening. That potentially looks like, if that were to occur, potential thunderstorms there. That would be the end of next week. GFS ensemble, Montpelier grid. You can see the plumes here. And this is our business today. This is centered on Montpelier, Vermont. That's mostly going to pass off to the west of our region and then to the south of our region as it tracks in the Adirondacks into southern parts of Vermont. And then during the day tomorrow, we have some morning showers, a little bit of a let up, and then potentially a little bit more regeneration in the afternoon. And then things dry out for a couple days over this coming weekend. And then we're in it again Monday night into Tuesday and beyond. Now, total QPF looks like this. We're not looking at very much in the way of precip at all. This is about 1/10 of an inch. And then the second bit of business after this weekend, early next week, well, you can see if you put it all together and go out 7 days and past 7 days, you're only talking about 4/10 of an inch. So below normal precipitation across the entire region is indicated going into next week. And once again, this is the QPF for the next 7 days out, going beyond this outlook period. And we can see we're looking at anywhere from 1/100th to 1/4 of an inch. And that looks like it is about accurate. Canada relatively warm except the Canadian Maritimes. And of course, we're in that slightly cooler than normal temperature anomaly here. But look at how warm it is on the western side of Hudson Bay. We're talking, you're getting right up there, 14, 18 degrees Celsius above normal. That's significant. And incidentally, there's been a lot of wildfire activity, and we've seen some smoke layers, and you can see that smoke layer that just tracked to our east during the overnight period this morning. Back to weighted temperatures we go, and we're seeing for the next 5 days our meteorological output statistics. MOS running neutral in northern areas about 3 degrees above normal. And it shifts to this. We're looking at colder air in eastern parts of Canada with that cold front, and near neutral further off to the south and east. So we're running about 3 degrees below normal, say 2 degrees below normal, weighted 3 days later for meteorological output statistics. For meteorological output statistics, or MOS. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.